So yesterday we started with the switch, yes, and console cable, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So connectors. This is console. You have to select RS232. That is a serial port. Okay. So then from switch you have to select console port, not this nor fast Ethernet or Giga Ethernet port. Okay, console port. Now to access this one, you'll get a desktop and a terminal. Okay, so then you click OK. So you'll get your this switch. Okay, so initially it will show that this is a file loading. Okay, flash colon. So this is the actual Cisco IOS, you can say, Internet Networking Operating System. So each Cisco Catalyst switch or router has a operating system we call as a IOS. Okay, so version software image, so you'll get all details. Now here this mode, the switch has a different modes are there. Okay, so setup mode. So initially while when you power on this, you will enter into this setup mode. Okay, if I go to the physical and I'll zoom in, see off, and I'll make it on. Okay, and I make it on. Directly it is coming this only. So it initially it will show the setup mode. You can check here CLI. Here also showing the same again. Loading, okay, enabled, fine. Okay, so this mode we call as a user mode. Okay, this is we call as a user mode. So copy notepad. Okay, so this mode, switch modes. Okay, we call as a switch modes. Okay, so there are so many modes are there. Initially setup mode. Setup mode we use when you want to restore, that is restore image. Okay, so in that case you can enter into the setup mode. Switch mode, when you start the switch, so you will get a initially switch, this one. So switch greater than symbol, if it is there, we call this is a user mode. What is that? We call as
User
a
mode.
user mode. Okay, so then now here if I type here enable, I'll type enable, I'm getting here. So this we call as a privilege mode. What? Privilege mode.
Privilege mode.
Okay. So this we call as a privilege mode. Privilege mode. So and each mode you will get a different. We'll see later. Okay. So then if I type here Are you able to see this one?
Maximize that.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
control. Okay, so that you can check in your this one, no? Your packet tracer. You take the switch and you type the same commands here. The at least from here you can see. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. Okay. So switch, and even if I maximize, it will come the same thing. Maximize size. No point in that. Okay. So switch. If I type here config terminal. Okay. Config terminal. This we call as a configuration mode, global configuration mode. This we call as a global configuration mode. So copy. So this control Z, it will enter the configuration commands one pair line. So that will see let's terminal. You have to use a config terminal, or you just use a config T, you will enter into this mode. This mode we call as a global configuration mode. So means it is applicable for entire switch, whatever you run here. Global configuration mode. Global. In the router also the same thing will happen. Okay, global configuration mode. Whatever I am typing here, it is applicable for a router also, same command. Okay, so then here once you enter into global configuration mode, suppose you want to configure the interface, particular interface of the switch. Okay, so it has so many interfaces are there. Okay, if you check here, these all are these interfaces are there. Okay, 4 5 6 6 into 4, how many?
24.
24 plus
24.
these two gigabit ethernet, 26, total 26 ports are there. Okay, you want to configure particular interface, then what you will do, you have to enter into that interface. Okay, to enter into that interface, you have to use interface fast ethernet. So if you give the question mark 0 to 9, it is showing. Okay, so 0 bar 0, you type here, it is invalid. 0 bar 0 to 24, it is shown, see this. Okay, slot 0, port number is 0 bar 0, I will select first port. Okay, 0 bar 0, it start with 0 bar 0, 0 bar 1, like that up to 24 you can use the number. So see that interface fast ethernet 0 bar 0 fast. Is that no? Okay, 0 bar 1, it is accepting. Why it did not accept it? Interface fast ethernet 0 bar 0. Hmm? Okay, it is 0 bar 1, no is there, no 0 bar 0. Okay, this is we call as a C hyphen if. Okay, IF interface. IF means interface, that is fast ethernet 0 bar 0. Now you want to configure this particular interface, then you have to enter into that interface. How you will do? Interface fast ethernet, that port number you have to mention here. This we call as a specific configuration mode. This we call as a specific configuration mode. Once you enter here, this we call as a specific configuration mode. Okay, so now what commands are available on each? Okay, that you can find out. See that if you give the question mark here, you want to know the list of commands available in that particular mode. Okay, you can give the question mark, so it will show the list of all these commands which are available. Okay, authentication, CDP, channel group, channel protocol description, duplex, exit, IP, all so many are there. Okay, so you will get all the list of. Suppose you want to go with the IP interface internet protocol config command. Suppose if I write IP, then what is the next command? I don't know. You give the question mark. It will again show the options available for that sub IP sub commands. IP, ARP, configure ARP features, DHCP, parameters for this interface. See there. So DHCP relay agent. This is actually. Also, no. DHCP snooping. See there sub commands it is shown. That means each command, whenever you use sub commands, it will show that one. Whatever the sub commands available for that command. Okay, so if you use the CDP, what are the sub command? Give the question mark. CDP enable Cisco Discovery Protocol enable on this interface. So like that. So this now you want to go back to the previous. You type exit. Okay, you will come. Then again exit will come back to the this one. Then again you type exit. You will come to the again this mode. Okay, user mode. Understood? So you have to use a exit command to exit from that mode to the previous mode. Okay, so here what you can do, exit, which exit. Yeah. So this is, see there, we're in a specific configuration mode. If you enter exit, you are coming out from that specific configuration mode to the global configuration mode. Once you again you type exit, you will come out from that global configuration mode to the privileged mode. Once you type exit, you are coming out from that privileged mode to the user mode. Yes, so this is how we do. Now one more command is there. Suppose I will go to the global configuration mode and to switch from, again you can check here every mode. When you practice, you check there, give the question mark, you will get a list of the commands which are available. So I have to use a enable, turn on privilege mode. Okay, privilege mode, leg. Okay, so here to enter into that privilege mode, you have to use the command enable. Okay, so this is what we are using. Exit from the execution mode. Okay, so that mode, log out from that. So enable, sorry, I'm not writing here. Enable config. Even if you give the T and press tab, it will complete the command. Please note down that also. Whenever you want to type the command, you not to type the entire command. Okay, with all the characters, just type initial one or two characters and press tab. It will complete the command. Okay, so config. I see there config tab. Press the tab. It is showing config terminal. Okay, so now we are in a global configuration mode. I want to enter into the specific configuration mode. Interface FAS, see that FA, I type it, just press the tab, it is completing the command. Then 0 bar 1. Okay, so now I want to come out from this global specific configuration mode to the this mode, that privilege mode. Then I can use a control Z. See, this is a control Z. Once you press control Z, caret and Z it is showing, that means control Z. When you press control Z from your keyboard, you will directly come to the privilege mode from any mode. Okay, so even from a global configuration mode or specific configuration mode, directly will come back to privilege mode. So that for that we use a control Z. So please make a note of this also. Okay, that means S control. Control plus Z. Okay, not a capital, small Z only. To Go back to privilege mode. Privilege mode. Is that clear? Have you tried from your side? Girish,
Yes,
Karthik.
sir. It's clear,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so practice these things.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this we have you setup mode, then user mode, privilege mode, global configuration mode, and a specific configuration mode. Okay, in each mode you will find a different commands, and you want to go back to the previous mode, you can use the exit command. You want to directly go back to the uh, privilege mode from a specific configuration mode, you can press a Control Z. Okay, so now switch is there. I want to change its name. Okay, I want to change its name. Okay, so for that, host name, is there command host name question mark, and check is that name is the available here or not. It's not available. Host name is not available. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is not there. Then I'll go to the global configuration mode. Give the question mark. Is this available here?
Yes, sir. Host name it's available here.
Set systems network name. Yes. So host name command is available. So now here I'll type host name. Next, what is the command? Give question mark. It will show here word means you have to type the name of that switch. So what name you want to assign for this switch? Okay, host name I want to assign switch one. Okay, switch one and enter. Is it changed from switch to switch one now here? See there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Yes,
this
sir.
is
Yes.
the command to assign the name to the switch. Okay. Change the switch name. Okay. Or change the name of switch with host name command. So that is the command. Now here, now see there. Okay. I'll go back here. Control Z. Okay. And I'll go to the there are two commands. Okay, so show running config. Show running config. It will show that what configuration you have done in this switch. Okay, so it is showing that host name switch one. So this configuration you have done. So that's the reason it is renamed from switch to switch one. Okay. So host name other interfaces you check there enter. Okay, interface you have not configured anything for any interface. You can see there all 24 fast Ethernet and 2 gigabit Ethernet and VLAN you have not assigned any IP address for this switch. Okay, and for this to access this switch remotely nothing is configured. Okay, okay, nothing is configured. So that is in the show running config. What is the running configuration you have done? This is like a temporary. Okay, until unless you copy this running configuration to startup configuration, it will not be permanent. Okay, so that means you have to configure copy the running configuration to the startup configuration. So here to do that, before that, what I want to show you that I will restart this switch and we will check that the name remains, it will be same or not. We have changed the name. Yes, we have changed the switch name from switch to switch one. Now I'll restart and I'm not copying the running configuration to the startup configuration. Before copying, I want to restart and I'll check whether it will retain this configuration or not. Okay. So what I will do, is there any command to restart?
Mm.
Log out, exit from here, display, disable, clear. Okay.
Sir, restart.
Halt,
Alt perform a cold restart. Reload.
reload. Okay, this is a command. Reload. 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 Yes. System config has been modified. Save yes or no. Okay.
Yes.
I will not say yes.
Okay.
I'll say no. Proceed with reload. Enter. See, it's loading flash again. So we want to check. We are not saving anything. That's I told. We are not copying that running configuration to startup configuration. See there. It is again taking the default name, that is switch. Yes.
Yes, sir.
The reason is that we have not copied that to the globe and that startup startup configuration. Okay. So that's the reason. So this is to restart. Okay. This is how you have to restart the switch. Okay. So now here it is not using that same configuration. Now this time I will copy that running to startup configuration. Enable config t, config t, then uh, host name switch 1. It is changing. Now control Z. I'll come back to here. Then I'll run show running config. It is showing the host name switch 1 is changed. Now control Z you can press to come out from that. Then copy running config to see there. You can copy running config to flash file FTP. You can copy to current system configuration SCP, copy to SCP file system startup config TFTP. This SCP FTP are there, no? So to the servers, you can other servers, you can take a backup of this switch and store in those servers if the servers are configured. Okay, that's how it used. Okay, so please go through a theoretical part of these things. Okay, so you can copy this running configuration to the which type of servers, which protocol you will use. Okay, so copy running config to startup config and hit enter. So destination file name, it is default, it is taking a startup config. You want to rename, you want to assign new name, you can assign here. Otherwise, if you don't give any name, it will consider as startup config only. Enter and build configuration is done. Okay, so that means it's copied now running configuration to the startup configuration. So before that, I'll just use these commands what I use. Enable switch 1. Okay, so control Z running configuration. Ping P running to startup configuration. Okay, enable config T. So this is not required, this line. T means terminal. Do you understand this one? Config T means config terminal. Okay,
Okay.
the switch will accept that as a terminal. Okay, it is changed from C there. Previous mode to the global configuration mode. Okay, so shortcut command config T. Okay, so means you need not to type the full command, just type T instead of terminal. It will accept as a config terminal. So host name switch 1, then with the control Z we exited from the global configuration mode to the privilege mode, and then here in the privilege mode we are running a show config command, and in this here it will show the output. What is that? Build configuration and host name switch one, it will show here. Okay, so want this, I don't, everything is not required, just I'm taking these lines, okay, as a output of this. So this is means mainly we need this one. Okay, switch one host name. This configuration we have done. So it is showing the under show running configuration. Now here I want to copy this running configuration to global startup configuration. So this is a command. Copy running configuration to the startup configuration. Copy. Copy running to startup, and this is the output. Okay, so I'm output, I'm giving one tab, so it's not a command, it's output. Okay, so this is the command switch one copy running to startup. Now here I would reload. Now I'll restart. After restarting it should show switch one only, it should not show just switch. Okay, so that we have to test, because we copied the configuration from running to startup. Startup means, so they are storing permanently in that switch. So whenever restart, so it should hold that configuration, it should load that configuration from the startup, because we copied this running to startup. Reload. Now you run the command reload, confirm, enter. Yeah, see that
Yes,
switch one is there now. Yeah,
yes, sir. Now it rename.
yeah, so this is, you can use the command to start, that is reload. Yeah, so this is a procedure to copy running to startup configuration. So next one, now see here, we already connected the same thing, we can do it from the PC. Okay, so now just enable, automatically it will take the same see that switch one is taking. Okay, switch one enable, so it is there. Even if you run from here, show running config, so host name switch one. Consider you are doing all these things from the system, because you connected, you are not doing from here. Because in the packet tracer simulator you can click on CLI tab and you can do all the things from here itself. But in the real scenario, so you'll not find anything here in the switch. You have to power on the switch, connect this switch to the PC through the control cable, and in your PC through the terminal or SSH putty SSH client. Through that you can connect to your router. Okay, so this is, I have something called here putty, or you can pronounce as a putty, how you want. See there, here serial you have to select here. Okay, serial com1, and then if you click open, okay, it will show that. Okay, error, the system cannot find the file specified. Okay, so that means it will connect to, if any device is connected to a serial port of your system, automatically it will detect that device, and you'll get similar like that. Okay, so this is how it will work here. Okay, com1 serial port, and you can connect that one. Okay, with this tool putty configuration, you have to select that one. Once you do that, so here similar to how it is showing here. in the terminal, you will get this message if the device was connected to your system, and when you click OK, you will get the same this interface of that switch. Okay, so and then with this you can configure the switch. Okay, this is how in real time it works. Now we have here, now I am in PC0. Consider I want to access this switch remotely from any system. Okay, so before for that I have to assign the IP address for the switch. I have to assign the IP address for switch. If I go here, show running config, and you check here in the running configuration, interface VLAN no IP address set down. That means IP address is not assigned for the switch. You are not going to assign any IP address for this interface in the switch. It is not required. But you have to assign the IP address for the switch VLAN. That means you can access that switch remotely. Okay, and then here line console 0, that is for this console. You want to assign a password, you can do that. And line VTY 0 to 4 and line VTY 5 to 15 means you can, if you configure these things 0 to 15, you can make a 16 connections to this switch remotely. Okay, so that is the meaning of that. First we will try to assign the IP address with this console to this switch, then we will assign the password, okay, for this switch. Then we'll configure its remote configuration with the line vty command, and then we'll connect the systems here and we'll test that whether we can access this switch remotely or not. Okay, so that we will test now. Okay, so now here interface VLAN 1. Okay, that means to use the interface command, which mode I have to go? I have to go to the global configuration mode. Okay, if you type here question mark, you won't find here interface. Interface command is there? No. Yes or no? In the privilege mode, there is no interface command. So I have to go to the config T. Then you give the question mark. So you'll find interface command is there. Select an interface to configure. Okay. So now interface question mark, you see there Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, port channel, VLAN range. Now I have to use a VLAN interface VLAN 1. Okay, default all the switch ports are configured for a VLAN 1. That also we'll see later what is that VLAN concept, how we can configure the this network for VLAN. Each port you can configure for different VLAN numbers. Okay, and how the systems behave when you configure those ports for a different VLAN, that we'll see later. Now we are going to, our aim is to access the switch remotely. Okay, for that what we have to do, that's what we are doing. So that, so here accessing the next is topic accessing the switch remotely. Okay, so remotely I want to access, because see there you are a network administrator, so all your switches are in a different floors. Okay, and server room is in different floor, but you are sitting in one place and you have to access those devices remotely and configure from your place. So how will do that? You cannot go each time go to the that floor, go to that switch, connect your system or laptop through the console and configure. You need not to do that. Only first time you have to do that. Once that is done, from second time onwards, you can access remotely those switches from any place in your network and you can configure. Okay, so that's the aim for configuring the switch remotely. Okay, so that we are going to do right now, accessing the switch remotely. So now for that, first we have to assign the IP address for that interface VLAN 1. Okay, by default all. Now switch config hyphen if it is showing. Now for this IP address I am going to assign any IP address. You can assign 168.10.1 and give question mark ABCD IP. Okay, so subnet mask IP and subnet mask. We have to give the subnet mask also 255.255.255.0 because it is a class C. enter. It's accepted. Control Z, Control Z, and now you show here show running config. Is it showing now? Interface VLAN 1 IP address. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes.
Interface VLAN 1 IP address you're done, and you have to use no shutdown command to make that port up. Okay, so this is a command you have to use. So now you are assigning the IP address for this switch. So first you are assigning the IP address, these commands. Okay, so here that is assigning IP to VLAN 1. Okay, or you can say the switch. Fine. Now next one is assign password. Okay, whenever you want to access remotely, you have to assign the password for that. Okay, so here switch exit exit. Mhm. D. Is there command for password? Okay, modify enable password parameters. Enable password. Yeah, so password. What will give Cisco 1? Okay, so then control Z. Okay, so then exit. Enable. See there. Now it is asking a password. If I don't give the password, I cannot change from the user mode to the privilege mode. Okay, if I give here Cisco 1, it won't show you the password when you type. So now it is changed from the user mode to the privilege mode. So for that, first we have to assign the password. How you are assigning the password? You are assigning the password switch 1 enable password Cisco. Okay, so this is how you are doing this. Exit. Now you will understand, no? So to run this command or to enter in the global configuration mode, what command you have to type? Yes, do you understand? So you have to configure them from this to this, then you can run this command. That's the reason I'm not taking all these things right now. Is it okay? Hello.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So exit, then after this return here and it will ask the password. So you have to enter the password here. Cisco 1. Okay, so then you will enter into privilege mode, otherwise no. So this is assigning a password on a privilege mode. Okay, this is for switch. Okay, privilege mode password. This is privilege mode password. Okay. So now here next one is, once it is done, I want to access this router remotely. For remotely to access, I have to configure that again, show running config. Every time when you do these configurations, run this command show running configuration. It will show that interface we have done. Okay, so password. Okay, it should show here. Host name switch enable password Cisco 1. Is it showing here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So whenever you run this command show running config, it is showing these two things. Okay. So it will show these two when you run this command. Now line VTY. Okay. So there is no configuration is done here. So now I want to do that. So config T question mark. Are you getting the command line? Configure a
Yes, sir.
terminal line. Okay. So that is to configure. Then line give question mark console or VTY. I want to configure, even for console you can assign the password. So because no anybody, now first time you have done that, no password, you will configure. If tomorrow someone comes connect his laptop directly to the switch with his console cable and delete all the configuration, so what you will do? So in that case you can assign the password as privilege mode password you are assigned. So he cannot configure, he cannot enter in privilege mode until unless you provide a password. Now we are going to assign the terminal password, so remotely you cannot access that switch until unless you know the password. Console password also you can assign. Once you assign that one to connect to this switch through the console, you have to enter the password, then only it will allow you to configure. Okay, so that
Okay.
console is for a console port. If you want to connect and access, then you have to enter the password. Okay, so line this, that also you can see there. First we'll go with the terminal. So then line VTY 0 to 15. Okay, you can give 0 to 15 all. Okay, or only for 0 to 4 one password, 5 to 10 another password, you can mention like that. Then here give the question mark, then you will get the password, set password. Okay, so set the password. So you can configure all this, enable password checking, logging mode. So many commands are there. We are going with the password set, and it see there. You need not to go with the each and every command. Please remember. Okay, so that's the reason even if you go through the Cisco, okay, they have made the certification associated level, professional level, and expert level. Okay, so depends on those certifications, they will work on a few commands, not all the commands. So for yours, so what I am taking few commands you can do, and again you go through that CCNA, okay, book, and you want to practice more, you want to become expertise on the Cisco routers and switches, routing and switching, and then you can practice from your side. So this what we are making you that. So we are making you to understand the networking basic fundamentals which are necessary to work on the cloud platform. Okay, so
Okay.
once it is done, now I hope till now no, we have almost covered 6 to 7 sessions. Now you are confident to work on the networking concepts. You by seeing those things, are you confident to understand those concepts?
Yes, sir.
Are you feeling that comfortable to read those networking concepts?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, so that is important. So how much you want to learn, then it's in your hand. Okay, you can learn from your side, you can explore from your side. Now you have become capable to understand and learn things from your own. So that's what uh, I wanted, and so and this we are doing all these things because of the time constraint. What we have designed, so we are going with that. So otherwise, if you see the CCNA itself, it is a 40 hours course. CCNA, it's a 40 hours course. Okay. So switch config line. So now I want to assign the password. Set password. Password. So we'll assign, what will assign the password? Cisco 2.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Cisco 1 is for privilege, Cisco 2 for this remote access. Okay, so then
Pass.
okay, so control Z. Now show running config. Is it showing now? Password Cisco 2. Yes,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So that means we have configured this one with the command config line terminal password. Okay, so this is till this point. Copy this. Yes, terminal password means remote access password. Remote access password. Okay, so line with white line. This is not required. Okay, all these commands. This just in. This is also not required. Directly can, yeah, 0 to 15. Then pass is code to control Z switch 1, and if you show the show running config, when you run this show running config, you will see the output like this. Yeah, so this is what you have to test after configuration. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so now we'll assign the console password also. Config t line console console. Okay, console first line number 0, console 0, then give question mark. Here also password is there. Password I'll give Cisco 3. Control Z. Show running config. Now it is showing line console 0, password Cisco 3. Yes, so that is means to assign the console password. Enable. Okay, yeah, so this is the command. Again same, line console 0, configure console password. this, and when you run this, get this is the output. Cisco 3. Okay. So now what we'll do? So we'll see there exit enable. It is pass Cisco 1. It is accepting. Okay. So exit. Now this also exit from here also. Okay. Just a minute. Console terminal. Okay. Oh, directly it is coming. Ah, okay. It's privilege mode password. Console password is not working. Hmm. It directly we are entering into this itself. Ah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we'll see that later. Now we'll go for the remote connection. Okay, so now what I will do, I've set everything. So I'll take the PC one, I'll connect here. Then I'll use the cable. Which cable? Straight through cable, PC one, fast Ethernet, and the switch. Okay. So for this, I have to assign the IP address from the range. What IP address assigned for this VLAN one? What IP address I have assigned? Last line you can see here.
Yes, sir.
VLAN one
192.168.10.1 you have assigned for that.
slash 24. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So for this system, we'll give 10.2. Okay.
Okay, sir.
192.168.10.2
Two.
subnet mask. Okay. So then we'll ping. So we'll go to the command prompt, type ipconfig. Okay, it is showing 10.3 and we'll ping to that switch IP, that VLAN 1 IP 192.168.10.1. Mm-hmm.
No ping.
You'll see. I should get reply. Yes.
Ah, we're getting, sir.
Yeah. So we are getting. Now I want to connect to this switch remotely. Okay. So first we assign the IP address to the PC and then we can go with the uh, what connecting. So PC 0. So this is IP config. That means you have to assign the IP address. Okay. So next assign IP address to PC 0.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is directly I'm showing the output. Okay, that means you assign this IP address and subnet mask. Okay,
Hmm.
so then then you check the connectivity. You are getting reply.
Yes, sir. Getting.
Okay. This request and out will remove this. Okay, you are getting reply. Okay, this IP 10.2 is a PC 0. Okay, and you are pinging to 10.1. This is a switch IP address right now. So once that is done, now you go to the terminal. Your command prompt, through the command prompt you are checking all the things. Yes, through command prompt you are checking IP config. Oh, what is this? PC1. Okay,
Yes.
PC1. So sorry,
Here,
PC
PC one.
0.
PC
PC
zero
0
is
is a console.
completely configured. Yes, sir.
Yeah, PC 1 I have to use here. Okay, it's a PC 1. And here this is console, that is the name of switch, config, then float, VLAN, password. So where we can do that, name switch.
Sir, I think we didn't assign the IP for PC
No, we
60.
need not to assign, no, that,
Oh, yes, sir. That's
because
just for
it's not
console.
directly connected, so you need not to worry about that. Even
Okay.
that's I said. So when you bring a brand new switch and you
Uh-huh.
have to configure, you are doing with the console. There is no IP address, nothing is there. So that
Okay.
is how we use that console.
Okay.
So we are not mentioned here. So switch modes, all these can change the name of the switch, all this. But here, so initially can console, cable or port, cable or okay, we are doing, but we are not mentioned here. Can connect to. I think yesterday's note we have mentioned. You can connect to switch with console cable to configure it first time. Yeah. Okay. So now we'll go to here command prompt. Okay. So command prompt only, and here we are getting reply. So telnet. I have typed telnet and see there usage is telnet target. That's a telnet. Target is switch. Telnet 192.168.10.1. It is asking the password. You have to provide the line VTY password. What is the line VTY password here? Line console password is Cisco 3. Line VTY is Cisco 2. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So Cisco 2. Cisco 2. Yes. See that. Now I entered into the which mode this one?
Switch one. Switch one.
This mode is called.
Global,
Console.
What is the mode here?
Console
global
mode.
configuration mode.
Huh?
Global configuration mode.
Oh my god. User mode. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We cannot remember it in one session. So I'll share this document. You can go through that. Okay. Now we
Okay.
are see there. To connect to this switch remotely, first I have to enter the password. And the password is that is a line VTY password, terminal password to connect to this switch remotely. That part Cisco 2. After that, I have entered into the user mode. Now I want to enter into the privilege mode. Enable. Now again it is asking the password. To enter into the privilege mode, which password I have to use here? What is the password you are assigned?
Console two.
Privilege mode.
Cisco one.
Cisco 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Cisco 1 we are assigned. So now you assign the Cisco 1. 1. It won't show when you type. Yes. See
Yes,
here.
sir.
Change it from here user mode to the privilege mode with password. So this is how we use. Okay. So command prompt. and run these commands, you will get connect to the switch remotely. See, I'm in PC1, I connected to the switch. Now I can configure, okay, remotely. Understood?
Yes,
This
sir.
how we can connect to the switch remotely and configure. So this is how we do. Then here, once that is done, ping, you get reply, run the command telnet and 10.1, that is IP address of the switch. Trying to open user access verification, it will ask for the password, enter the password and then switch one enable, type enable here. It is asking for a privilege mode password, enter that password, then you'll get connect to enter into the privilege mode, and then whatever the configuration you want to do, you can do that. Okay, so now from here I want to run that show running configuration, show running config. It is showing all the configuration here. Okay, and I want to copy this, copy running configuration to startup config. Yes. Okay. Okay, so this you can do. It means any command you want to do it, you want to configure or you want to run, you can do that, because already you connected to the switch through PC1 and you have used connected through remote. Remotely you are connected. Okay, using the command telnet command you are using. Even you can use the SSH command to connect to the switch remote. Is that clear? Have you understood this? So
Yes, sir.
initial configuration of the switch.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, the same is applicable for a router also.
Mm.
Okay, so this you want to run, it's not required here to show, but still use. So I will share this file with you. Okay, so
Okay.
follow the same commands. Okay, if you have any issues, please do it at least twice. You do these things. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so even if you are making mistake, you will come to know that. Yeah. Okay, so then you want to exit from this. You want to exit from this. What is the command you will use?
Exit.
Exit.
Exit. Okay, so then connection. Okay, so close. This is the command. Yeah, let it be there. Close it by foreign most. Okay. So then again you are getting your command prompt back here. So this is terminal password, assign password, as accessing switch remotely. I'll give one more line here. So this is actually the main is this one. To perform this task, we have done all the things. Yeah, is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, fine. So we'll wind the session today. So next tomorrow, what we'll do? We'll uh, go with how the switch works. Okay, when
Okay,
you
sir.
connect multiple systems. Okay, what is that back table? So we'll discuss about that, and also I'll show with that okay how it is working, what is that MAC table, how it make the entry automatically, then whether it go with the unicast or multicast after entering those things as PC name and respective MAC address for that port in the MAC table, and next how whether it will go with unicast or broadcast, that we'll see, that we'll test. After that we'll go for a VLAN concept, that implementation we will do, and then we'll complete the switch, then we'll go for the routing configuration. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Once that is done, then we'll go for a OSI and TCP, and we'll complete the networking topic itself. Fine. So then you can explore more and more from your side.